Hey there, Sart here. I want to start by saying I know a lot of you guys who saw my video that I put out yesterday with the rank 1 clear against Ultima weapon. A lot of people asking me, what do I do if I don't have Genesis? And you know, I totally get it. Genesis is an incredibly strong unit, and he definitely makes clearing this look easier than it is. I'm actually surprised that Gumi made the damage cap so high at 18 billion. I thought it was going to be closer to like 15, to be honest. It seems like they're really pushing to try to push people out of that rank 1 slot there on this one. With that said, I'm going to do my best to try and do a clear without Genesis, but my personal limitations as far as units go is going to make that pretty difficult for me. So I cannot guarantee that I'm going to be able to do another clear without Genesis, because I don't have Ibarra, I don't have Dio, I don't have Dwayne or Zach or Nora. I certainly don't have Squall. So, you know, my best leader skill unit, and you know, make no mistake, you need at least one strong leader skill unit to get this one done. Rain is my strongest leader skill unit, and so that limits me tremendously in the team compositions that I can put together for this. So I'm going to try, but I cannot guarantee I'll be able to do another rank 1 clear. There are a lot of other content creators out there that have done other clears. I know I've seen like Resnot and Cloud have done dark teams. I believe Kamakiro has done a light team using the new Squall and the near units. I'm sure there are others out there. I believe you could probably do a lightning team if you had, you know, Zach, Angeal, and Cloud, and you know, like Sylvie and Esther, obviously. I think you could probably put a lightning team together that could get this one done as well. So I think there are options. I just personally don't have the units to demonstrate those options. But please take a look at my recommended channels on my homepage for some of the other content creators out there that are doing different teams. All right, moving on. This video is all about the sub bosses. All right, Fujin Raijin and Edea, and then I'm also going to I'm going to show you my farming team at the end, as well as sort of give you some of my thoughts on farming this event in general. All right, but let's start with Fujin and Raijin. It is a 2 enemy, so there are 2 enemies on the field. Keep that in mind. Fujin is only weak to wind and light, and then Raijin is only weak to, is weak to water, light, and dark. Okay, now we're going to be going with a water team, but even though Fujin is not, is not weak to water, we're still going to make it work, no problem. All right, and so let's go ahead and get in here. All right, so yeah, this is the damage score for a perfect score is 29,000, which means that the cap is around 2 billion, which should be fairly easy to hit considering there are 2 people on the field. If you're doing AoE damage, you're basically doubling your damage output. So hitting the damage cap on this one shouldn't be too hard, but I'm going to show you how I got it done real quick and just show you some good water units you can use. You can use mages or physical damage units, doesn't matter, you can go either one. You can see I've got Tifa in there, and so my Tifa is fully crowned. She's got the 8x chain cap and the 150 amp. If you weren't able to complete all 4 stages of her crowns, or if you just missed her crowns, she still might be a viable unit to bring to the fight, but she's obviously going to do much better because she is crowned from her crown battle. All right, and I'll demonstrate that. And then once again, I'm bringing Beach Babe Fina just because she was already in my water team. Like literally, this is the same team I took to Iron Giant. I just threw Tifa in there as like an extra water unit. And what you're going to see in the damage report at the end is that really, like, all of these people, all of these units could, you know, a combination of any of these units could potentially help you get that damage cap without issue. So I'll go over the gear real quick. So yeah, Beach Babe Fina, she's got a gun build. She can wield guns innately, which is nice, so gave her Olive's STMR. Magister's Rings there for the chain cap boost, but otherwise fairly simple gear. I didn't even bother changing the killers because I think she hits human killer pretty easily. Yeah, so she's already got human killer, full LB damage. She's ready to rock and roll. Nothing too fancy going on there. All right, Esther, she's just going to be doing tanking. I gave her Aranya's Ring because she's going to quad chain Watera, so that she can chain with Selfie. That way Selfie gets all 4 of her casts in, because everyone else is going to be triple bolting strike, so we need somebody to do some quad bolting strike there with her. Okay, otherwise just bulk her up and give her some elemental resists so that she doesn't, take too much damage, obviously. All right, Selfie is dual wielding because it's just an easier build for most people to build. If you can go double hand, definitely do that. That will make her much stronger, but yeah, dual wielding is also fine for this, okay? And then, yeah, just make sure she's got her human killers. Yep, good on human killers. Full TDW, yep, and, essentially free vision card there. Laguna just doesn't really need anything. He can be naked. All he's doing is his crowned break, so make sure you crowned his Coochie Coochie treatment to get the big breaks and imperils, and you're good to go. Keep in mind that this is single target. All right, we're going to be focusing on Raijin, I believe, but his LB is AOE. Okay, and so that'll just help us clear out the fight. Okay. And let's see what. I think that's good. Okay. Tifa, we only care about her Brave Shift form. All right, like I said, I've got her fully crowned. Now, if you only got 2 of her crowns, this ability only takes 2 crowns, so hopefully you focused on this one to make her Brave Shift LB much stronger. All right, but she does also have the dual wield Fury. Where is it? That gives her the 8 times chain cap. Pretty sure it unlocks it somewhere. Oh, there it is. Yep, dual blade Fury. Okay, so she's got that, and then her 150 amp. Okay. All right. Oh, sorry. Let me go back and do all the gear here. So yeah, this is all the gear that I used. Just whatever strong vision card you have to give her there. So she's good on human killers, LB damage, ready to rock and roll. Edea, you don't really have to worry too much about her. You don't have to have the Serpentine Whip. That's just what I gave her. And then, yeah, chain cap boost there, some human killers, and whatever good cards you have there. Okay, so she should also be good on magic killers, magic human, yep, LB damage. Excellent. All right. Edea is really just here for the weapon imperils for everybody else, but she'll do, she'll do a fair amount of damage in her own right. She's no slacker for sure. All right, let's see how we get this done. All right, so Raijin is the one that is innately weak to water, so we're going to focus on him so that we maximize our damage here. Okay, because Tifa's LB is single target, you want to pick whichever one she's going to deal the most damage to, right? And so we'll do Coochie Coochie to to Raijin, who is the one on top. Okay, actually, let's see, before I do that, make sure you do Coochie Coochie and then do Bursting Break so that you at least get a decent attack and mag break on everybody else. And then just, okay, this is the showdown. This is just in case your Laguna is only EX0 or EX1. That will fill up his LB for next turn. All right, Fina is going to do Elemental Burst Water, fill LB because mine's only EX0, and then Charging Heartbeat. All right, Tifa will do Unbridled Strength, Elemental Burst Water, Rise and Fall. That should be fine. All right, Esther will do Electromagnetic, Storm Guardian, Energizing Bunny. All right, Edea is going to Astral Barrier. You must fight to the end for the Human Killers and Fantasy Beyond Imagination for the mod boost and the mag store to her LB. All right, Selfie. She can do, I think she only needs to do double. Or no, sorry, so triple. She'll do Slot Wall for some elemental resists for Esther, Ready for the mag boost to herself, and Intense Water. So somebody pointed out in a previous video that I did that this ability, if you upgrade Intense Water, it gives her a water amp, which I didn't know. So thank you to the commenter that commented on my previous video about this. So yeah, we'll do this to give her a little water amp, just gives her a little bit more damage. Okay. All right. Now you may be asking, are we going to imperil Fujin? And of course we will, using Laguna's LB. So Laguna's LB is AoE, which means he has to be the first person to go in the chain order. So we'll start by chaining Laguna and Fina, and then we're gonna do Tifa. Again, make sure you're targeting Raijin because he's the one with the big imperil. All right, and then we will do Esther is just going to do quadruple Watera. Edea will do her LB for the weapon imperil for Selfie, and then Selfie just does quad Furious Watera. All right. So like I said, I'll start with Laguna and Fina. I'll let them kind of ramp up the chain, then I'll send Tifa, and then I'll do Edea, Selfie, and Esther in that order. All right. We should get well over 100 chains. Yeah. And we should do like a stupid amount of overkill damage here. Yeah, okay. So we quadrupled the damage cap on that one. All right. So, yeah. And I think we'll see that basically any one of these damage dealers hits the damage cap by themselves. Let's take a look. Yeah, Avalanche Tifa almost doubled the damage cap by herself. Selfie came close to capping it herself at 1.5. If you do Selfie and Edea together, you've hit the damage cap just with those two. So you could literally lift Tifa right out of this team, and Selfie and Edea take care of it all by themselves. So yeah, a lot of options. This is just to show you some options of different DPS units that can get this one done for you. All right, but that's how we get Fujin Raijin taken care of. Shouldn't be too much trouble. All right, so now let's do Edea. I'm going to do two teams for Edea because you can use light or dark, but she is a mage only. You cannot bring, well, you can bring physical units, but they're not going to deal any damage. She has physical immunity, okay? And so I'm going to do a light team and a dark team. I'll start with the light team, and this is the light team. This is like my go-to light team if there's a light weak mage only boss in any Dark Visions or Vision World. This is just like my go-to light team that I use to take care of these bosses. All right, and so I'll show you my light team first, and then I'll do my dark team against Edea, just to give you two options for capping her. She does have a slightly higher cap. If we look at that point score again on Edea, 52,000 means you have to hit 4 billion damage. Okay, now she is single target. Okay, so 4 billion damage, and that should be fairly easy to do with a wide array of teams, but it is a little limiting in the fact that you can only use pure mages and you're restricted to light and dark. Okay, so let's start with the light team. We've got Luis. Luis is really just here for her 90% break. All right, very, very handy. That's pretty much all she's here to do. She'll also quad cast some Darkra. All right, just to make sure we hit the chain score. Okay, so that's what Erinya's Ring is doing there. She is passive provoke, but I honestly don't think it's important, so we're not really going to worry about that. All right. So Yuna in her normal form doesn't really matter. She's just going to be in her normal form to do her LB, to put the LB mod boost on there. Okay, in her Brave Shift form. Okay, just as much spirit and evocation damage as you can stuff in there. The nice thing about evocation is that you don't have to worry about killers at all. You just got to make sure you're hitting all your evocation stats. So she's got 300% Esper, 300% Evo, 300% LB, and that's all we're doing. Okay. And then Braska's literally just here to help boost Yuna's damage. I gave him Broom from the Legend of Mana event so that he can use this ability that does a triple bolting strike magic ability that is light elemental. So he'll just help out with some chaining in that regard. Otherwise, he is naked. Okay. Aerith is, of course, here as just our light buffer. She's going to be our light buffer, stat buffer, LB damage buffer, all that jazz. She'll also do some Chaos Wave Awaken chaining. So I think she'll actually be chaining with Louise. So Louise will do Dark Ga, and then Aerith will do Banish Ga, and we'll just wait for that chain to ramp up using those. All right, otherwise she doesn't really need anything special. Cecil is going to be the mag tank here. He's really here just for the LB damage buff. Also, he's a really good mag tank, and he can provide a light imperil because we are going to have to dispel the boss on turn 2. This is going to be a 3-turn clear, by the way. We'll dispel the boss on turn 2, and Cecil will reapply the light imperil on the boss. Oh, sorry, let me show you his Brave Shift form. This is just like his general build with lots of elemental resists across the board. He caps like everything innately anyways, so really just, build him for some elemental resist. You see Blue Wave there, we're not going to use it. That was for a previous build. All right, so that's pretty much all he needs. Tsukiko will be our Imperil Field. She'll also deal a little bit of damage in her own right, sort of just like a light support unit. And again, in her Brave Shift form, just, building her up for at least trying to cap everything. I'm a little shy on the Esper damage. It's not going to matter. We'll get it just fine. But here is the gear that I used. All right, nothing too fancy there. Honestly, this card is not, I always have this card on her because it's the only form of magic boost that I have, but you don't need it. Just give her a better card, whatever cards you have in there. Okay, and that's it. All right, so let's see how we get this done with the standard light team. All right. So turn 1, Luis can honestly just, she can guard. You don't need her to do anything. Cecil is going to shift. He'll do Lunarian Might, cover, and Paladin's Sword for the attack and mag breaks. Aerith can go ahead and do Planet's Protection. You notice she comes equipped with Dispelga. We'll use that next turn. Yuna will do her LB. I don't think it doesn't really matter what order we do all of these in. Braska will do Support from the Faith. Tsukiko does Blessed Omamori. Maiden's Consecration Light. Not that she needs to do that, actually. We'll just do... Well, we got to do 3 things anyways, don't we? We'll do Prayer of Protection and Purging Mandala Light. Okay. There you go. Bunch of magic damage, which he resists everything. All right, so now Edea has put up this this big elemental buff. It's a pretty significant elemental buff, I believe. Yeah, so I think it's like 100%, and that's pretty significant. So you definitely want to get rid of that, especially if you're struggling to hit the damage cap. So definitely get rid of that. So we're just going to do Dispelga, and that's going to do a full Dispel. That's fine. We're going to set all the breaks and everything back up anyways. Okay. All right. Now before we do any more breaks or anything, we're going to shift Tsukiko. We're going to do double Solar Flare. And then you can do any of these other skills except for the breaking one. I'll just do Firestorm. Okay, you only need 2 Solar Flares to charge up her Magnus, which we'll use next turn. Alright, and you want to do that just because you don't want to do too much damage to the boss. Alright, Cecil will now do, he's going to do his Omni Cover on this turn, so come, our battle awaits. We'll do Paladin Sword again for the attack and mag breaks and the Light Imperil. And then his other move can just be True Light Wall for some elemental buffs, yeah? All right, now Luis can do her Incapacitate Target for the 90% Spirit Break. Yuna will shift. All right, and she will do Knowledge of the Staff, Believe, and Hymn of the Faith Plus. All right, and yeah, he doesn't really need to do anything, does he? No, he can just hang out. Okay, Braska will guard. All right, so Cecil covers everything. There's a little bit of physical damage on that turn, and you see he covers it just fine. All right, so we should be good to go. Yep, our Light Imperil is back, which is perfect. All right, so Aerith will quad, banish Ga. Luis will quad Dark Ga. So that since they're not the right elements, it'll take a little longer for the chain to ramp, but it's a really slow chain anyway, so it works out quite well. All right, Shining Karmic. Braska will do Halo. Yuna does her LB. And yeah, Cecil can just hang out. We don't really need him to do anything. Okay, so yep, I'll start Aerith and Luis, then I'll send, after a minute, I'll send, a couple of seconds, I'll send Yuna, and then I'll do Tsukiko and Braska. All right, so Yuna probably hit the damage cap all by herself. But if your Yuna is not quite as strong as mine, yeah, there we go, 6.6. So we did 2.6 billion worth of overkill. Very nice. So the light team still works, still works. All right. I think Yuna did 5.1, so she capped it by herself. Tsukiko only doing 1.5. She's really just there to help you get over the cap if your Yuna's not quite as strong. All right, so that's one way you can get it done. But I would like to also show you a dark team in case you don't have Yuna. Now, it's this one. No, that's my farming team. Yeah, this one. This is my Edea clear. Okay, so we've got Dark Fiend Warrior's Prayer. If you don't have her, it's not the end of the world. Just slot in like another damage dealer maybe. Obviously, if you have like Melissa, Curse of Melissa, she'll be fantastic here because she has not only the Dark Amp for the party, but she also has the Killers. Okay. But anyways, Fina doesn't really need much of anything here. She can be practically naked. Esther, again, pretty much the exact same build as you've been seeing. She's just going to be Omni tanking and taking it out from there. All right, this is going to be another 3-turn clear, by the way. We'll need 2 turns to set up and then go. I also gave Esther Siren Esper so that she can get Dispel, because Esther's going to do the Dispel on turn 2. Selfie is in a TDH build here, so here's an example of her TDH build. I figured if you have Dark Fiend, a Warrior's Prayer in the party, you might as well throw her STMR on Selfie. So here's the TDH build. Okay, and yeah, filling her up with all the human killers that you can. You don't need to worry about LB damage or anything like that. So she's going to be using her light chain this time. So make sure you upgrade Intense Banish for the light amp, and then Furious Banish Ra for the big bolting strike skill. All right. Sorry, did I cover everything? I think I covered everything there, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, nothing too fancy. All right. Renoa, we're just sticking to her Brave Shift form. This is another reason why we need 3 turns to set up, because I need to use turn 1 to fill up her LB, because mine is only EX1. So I use turn 1 to fill up her LB, turn 2 to use her LB for the Mon boost, and then we chain on turn 3. It also lines up nicely with Edea's SLB. Okay. So if your Renault is only EX1, works out perfectly. So here's her build. We went TDW. I could put something in there. It doesn't really matter. Just put whatever vision card you have in here. You can't actually use this ability against Edea because it's a physical type, so it'll be totally immune. So just put whatever vision card you have in here that works for your Renoa. All right, so she should have full human. Yep, good to go. Don't care about LB damage because she's just chaining Darkra, so that's all we really care about. And then, yeah, we've got Laguna, who's, again, he's just here for his break. That's literally the only thing he's doing. I gave him Aranya's ring so that he could chain Darkra to make sure we hit the chain score. Edea has a 2-handed rod. Memory chip, that is Regina's STMR for the chain cat boost. So yeah, you notice I'm not using a whole lot of Clash of Wills gear here. You don't need it. All right, this is just to sort of prove that you don't need a whole bunch of Clash of Wills gear to get this one done. It's pretty basic gear here. Just make sure she's capped up on human killers. Again, you don't need Ayaka's card. Just put the best mag card you have on there. Make sure she's got full LB damage and full magic human killer, and you should be good to go. All right, and that's it. All right, so let's do the dark team against Edea. All right, so turn 1, Warrior's Prayer Fina. We'll just do in Dark in for Wall, and let's settle this now, which does a human killer for the party. If you don't have her, Edea also has a human killer in her party. It's only 130%. Dark Fiend is 150%. So if you're worried about replacing the human killer, don't worry. Edea has human killer in her kit as well. All right, here we just need to do I can fight if I'm with you to fill up her LB. Laguna, all he needs to do on this turn is let's just do full breakdown, because we're going to dispel our breaks next turn anyways. Esther is going to Electromagnetic Storm Guardian and Energizing Bunny. All right, Edea, on this turn we'll just do I think we'll just do Astral Barrier. I think that's all we really need, just for some mitigations to make sure you're not taking too much damage. Selfie on this turn, we'll do Slot Wall and Intense Banish. Alright, there you go. Esther resists all the magic damage. Alright, on this turn, Fina will go ahead and do her LB. Actually, wait, before we do that, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll go ahead and Dispel. Dispel Edea before you do anything else. Alright, then we do LB. Laguna will do his Magnus ability. Edea on this turn only has to do her cooldown. All right, unless you don't have another human killer on the party, and then make sure you use her human killer before next turn. All right, so she'll do her cooldown. Selfie. On this turn, we'll just do ready and her cooldown for the light amp boosts. Okay, very good. Esther tanking all that like a champ. All right, so we've got our brakes. Everything's ready to go. SLB, quad, Furious Banishra. Laguna will quad, Darkra. We'll do quad, Darkra. You could do Apocalypses as well, if you wanted to. If you wanted to do quad Apocalypse because for some reason you weren't hitting the damage cap, that's fine. But we really don't need it. The only thing you don't want to use, do not use Meteor, because it is a physical type. Even though it deals dark damage, it is a physical type, and she will be immune. I figured that out the hard way. All right, so we're just gonna do, quad Darkra and quad Darkra. So with all these people chaining Bolting Strike, you probably don't even need Laguna to be chaining, but yeah, might as well. Just make sure Edea is the first person to go, because she's going to be the one to supply all the weapon imperils for everybody, okay? Because her SLB, I think, does 25%. Yeah, 25% to rod whip throwing, so she needs to be the first person to go. All right, let's chain it up. We should do well over the damage cap with this team, hit well over the chain score. Yeah, I think we should do like 6 or 7 billion here. Wow, yeah, okay, almost 7 bill, so again, way over the damage cap, which is only 4 billion. Okay, so plenty of room if your team isn't nearly as strong. But it really shouldn't take that much to get a perfect score on Edea. And let's see. So yeah, Sorceress Edea herself is actually carrying this one. Obviously, Renoa would do more if she was if you were capping her Apocalypse ability, because it has a much bigger modifier than Darkra does. But yeah, there it is. So that's an option. If your team's not as strong and you need Renoa to do extra damage, just have her do her quad Apocalypse. You just got to figure out the timing to cap it, which if you've seen my Laguna Crown fight, you know the timing for capping those Apocalypse finishers there. All right, so that's how we clear out Edea, no problemo. Okay. So now, as far as like a farming team, before I show you my farming team against Ultima weapon, I just want to say that personally, all of the stages now cost the same amount. It's 5 energy to do any of these stages, and they've greatly reduced the number of materials that it actually takes to upgrade some of these things. Like, for example, for me personally, the only item the only item that I think is like a must-have that you must upgrade for sure all the way is Griever. All right, because it's a high attack, high mag accessory that has 50% LB damage, 50% human and machine killer. It is great. All right, definitely upgrade Griever. The materials for Griever you get from Ifrit, which is the easiest boss by far. Super easy just to go in there and turn 1, wipe them out with a full bonus squad. Absolutely no. It took me like 20 minutes of farming Ifrit to get all the materials to do Griever +4, fully upgraded. 20 minutes, all it took. I got frustrated with it because Ultima weapon, while it does give you twice as many materials, it's totally random which materials it's going to give you. And I got tired of farming it and like never seeing Ifrit medals pop up. So I just went over to Ifrit, farmed Ifrit, got what I wanted. If you're the type of person that wants to upgrade everything, then definitely do Ultima weapon and You know, do Ultima Weapon to get the mats and until you've upgraded most of the equipment, and then when you only have like maybe 2 or 3 things left to upgrade, then you can go to the regular stages and sort of focus on those last few items. So I'm going to show you my farm team against Ultima Weapon real quick. It's actually not a turn 1 farm team, because I wanted a full bonus squad. My team actually takes 2 turns to take down Ultima Weapon because they're just not nearly that strong. I'm also not using all of my best gear. I took all the Clash of Wills gear out of this one, just in case, you know, your team and your units aren't quite as strong. So here's what we've got, and here's what it takes to get this one done. So literally all I did for Zell was I hit Optimize and Spirit. You want high Spirit, really high defense and Spirit, but I think it's mostly Spirit for the fixed attack that the boss is going to do on turn 1. Okay, so just ramp up their Spirit, whatever you have. Like I said, what I did is hit Optimize and put Spirit, and then I went in and I manually put in Relieving Song, which is Conk's TMR. That's for the stat buffs for the party. Okay, so yeah, just hit Optimize and Spirit, and then give him Relieving Song. Squall, I did the same thing, hit Optimize and then tap Spirit, and then I manually put in Sword of Kings for the power to destroy Nephesite. That's to seal the Gravesia on turn 1. All right, and that's all he needs. Yeah, so that's what it automatically put in for optimizing for Spirit. So Renoa, pretty much the same build you saw before. All right, dual wield build as much mag as you can stuff in there, and then just making sure you maximize her machine killers. Strongest card you have in there is fine. So yeah, she's got 300% magic machine, good to go. All right, notice no Clash of Wills gear there. We've got Laguna again. I just hit Optimize and hit Spirit, and this is what it gave me. So just whatever you have to ramp up his Spirit as much as possible. Selfie is again going TDH with the Serpent Bone Whip, and then yeah, just pretty much the same build you just saw. I think I even just copied and pasted the teams over to my Edea clear, to be honest. And then yeah, all the best killers, best vision card that you have for that slot to make sure she hits 300% machine. Don't have to worry about LB damage for her. Edea, yeah, again, pretty much the same build. No Cal gear, 2-handed rod, memory chip for chain cat boost, and then all the gear or all the killers you need to get her to. Oh, she doesn't actually even have 300% machine. That's okay. 300% LB damage. She's really just here for her LB on turn 1. And that's it. She's not even going to do any chaining on turn 2. So you can kind of ignore all that. All right, so let's do a quick farming run against Ultima Weapon, and then that'll be it. All right, so on turn 1, Laguna will do his Crowned Magnus. He'll just use this ability just for something to do, and then Warning Shot. Warning Shot is important because we need 2 stacks of Mirage for the 2 AoE physicals that we're going to take. Zell can go ahead and do Relieving Song. All right, Selfie is just going to quad her Furious Watera. Sorceress Edea does her LB. Renoa is going to quad Meteor. Okay. And we're going to do all of these first. Squall needs to be the last person to go because he's going to use the Nephesite. We don't want to accidentally seal one of our magic abilities or anything like that. Not that I think that it would, because I think since they're magic abilities, they shouldn't be sealed, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. So Edea goes first for all the weapon imperils, and then Renoa and Selfie. Okay. Okay, now Squall can do Power to Destroy Nephesite. So the boss has 600 million HP, all right? And so that just gives you some idea of what we've got left to do. All right, now I'm just gonna hit reload, and I'm only gonna send Selfie and Renoa because that's all it's gonna take. If you're worried that you're not going to finish the boss off, then have Edea do like quad Darkra or something like that. But I don't need to. Selfie and Renoa will take care of it. And there you go. So, you know, 2 turns, you know, I know people like to do their farming teams on, you know, like turn 1 kills, but if you want a full bonus team and your bonus, you know, your bonus team isn't quite as strong, there's an option to do it in 2 turns, right? All right, and I think Selfie pretty much carries that one. Yeah, I mean, Renoa does a fair amount as well, but Selfie does quite well on her own. All right, so there's a farming team. So you can see, yeah, I mean, you get a good amount of medals. You get like 90 medals, but honestly, it's like I just get frustrated. I just get so frustrated when I'm trying to go for one thing specifically and I'm not getting it. And so this is definitely the best place to farm if you're trying to upgrade everything. But personally, I was just like, all I want is Griever, just give me Ifrit, and that's what I did. Didn't take very long. All right, so that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else I need to do. So thank you guys so much for following me. I hope this was helpful to you guys. Like I said, I will keep trying to work out a rank 1 clear that does not include Genesis. But I make no promises. I honestly don't know if I can do it personally, just with the units and gear that I have. So yeah, might have to rely on some other content creators out there for that one. But thank you guys so much for sticking with me, and I will see you on the other side.